Yeah, if you see someone with this device, you should get paranoid.
Now that's a hook if I've ever seen one.
Would you like to be a victim?
Wait. Back up.
So I will trigger the attack.
Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody, listeners and watchers. Welcome to your new favorite cybersecurity podcast, Unlocked 403, brought to you by ESET. My name is Bex, and today I have a very special guest with a very special new setup. Something's very magical is happening here today. We have new mics. I hope you can hear it. For those of you who are only listening on Spotify, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, this is a special episode because we'll also be showing some live demos today. And to do that with me, I have Lukasz Stefanko, who is a malware researcher from Košice. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm looking forward to this podcast.
So far, we had some incredible guests, but we have a very special topic, which is your baby, right? Android, malware, research, threat, everything. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, sure I can. I am a malware researcher with the focus on Android threats. I've been doing that for the last 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
It's a long time.
You're an expert.
I'm trying my best. And the main role of my work is to analyze Android apps, search for malicious code, malicious patterns, and then based on that, we can protect our clients. That's the malware analyst part of my job. And then there is malware research part, which means that based on the malicious functionality I found in these apps, I'm trying to get a better picture to understand how they work. I'm trying to get as many information as possible, such as where from they are coming, are there new malware families, or is there any campaign, which means there are so many detections out in the world, something is actually happening. Are they attributed to some known APT, which means advanced persistent threat groups, and so on. And if I have this overview, I'm able to share the research with audience through our blogs, through presentations, and with the community.
So you have 10 years of collecting data and finding new stuff. Does it get easier to spot the bad stuff?
Actually, it does. It's getting easier and easier because
How come?
At the beginning, I spent hours, sometimes even days, analyzing one malware. It was difficult, of course. And these days, it's just a couple of minutes. I check the app and I know where the problem is, what the malware does, and I can move further to another app.
When you say analyze the malware, does it mean look at the code? Or how does it work?
The idea is to understand what the app does, and in particular, the malicious part of the application.
Okay.
So that's the goal.
So do they usually have like a clean part and a malicious part?
Most of the time, or the more sophisticated type of malware has the clean part, and on top of that, it's bundled with the malicious code, which is responsible for some bad activities.
Okay. So what first sparked your interest in Android in particular, or app threats in general?
I guess it was a curiosity how things work, because the idea of analysis or research is to understand that without having any additional data, which means it's a different process. For example, when a developer creates app, they have source code and they create the app is distributed to users. Our approach is reversed the other way. We have the app and we need to find a way to read the code and understand the application.
So you're like food critics. In a way.
So something like that, yeah.
You have to guess the ingredients.
Yeah, trying to identify what's here, what's there, and create a picture.
I think I find it fascinating. I've spoken to a few of analysts and researchers, and I've said recently, I wish if I had the brain for it, I would love to do it. What are the most common types of Android malware or Android threats? Is it phishing? Because that's what most people think about when they think of phone and the connected threats.
Well, phishing is definitely one of them, since it is the easiest way to trick someone, potential victim, to obtain, to gain, for example, credentials to social media, to email, to banking applications, credit card details, etc. This can be done actually by anyone without any knowledge about the cybersecurity or development.
Yeah.
Just send a link and wait until user is hooked.
Does it still work? Because I'm feeling like a lot of people now are aware that phishing exists and they need to be careful what links they click on. Are there still people who do get tricked?
Yes, there are many. How should I put it?
Politely?
The best way to get someone to fall into phishing is to create a well-played scenario. Social engineering attack, which means to squeeze someone into actually giving you credentials and believing it's a good thing and that they might benefit from that.
What other types of threats are very common?
The most common or the primary one for mobile or the Android in particular is downloading and installing malicious or bad, harmful application.
But app stores are usually protected. There's like a process to get approved, right? So how are these apps even available?
Well, this is a great question, and I don't have answer for that. However, the attackers are trying to find these gaps in the process on the App Store side, and at some point they might get lucky, or they found a way how to penetrate the store and actually deliver or provide harmful app to Android users. So,
do they also use like third-party websites?
Yeah, that's really common to use third-party websites. It's popular to distribute cracked applications, which means the premium app costs money on the App Store. However, you can download the free one on the store, but it's bundled with harmful code.
Yeah.
Malicious apps can be also downloaded from dedicated websites. We're talking about a copycat of the legitimate websites. So user might fall for that. They also pay ads on the search engines, so they are displayed on the top when user is searching for some app, for some service. That's really common. And as you said, already mentioned, the bad apps were also available on official app stores as well.
What other signs are there that the app is not legitimate? So the developer, I'm suppose, then what, the ratings, or what else should I look out for?
I would go for permissions of the applications first. What does it request? If you want to download calculator app,
right,
most likely it should not request permission to read text messages.
It should not.
That's a red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag anyways.
But the most important part is to check the reviews, comments from other users. Because when a user is tricked or identifies some unwanted behavior in the app, they are willing to share that in comments. And that's really important to check these. We've seen that in the past that user put these comments.
All right. Android devices rather than Apple, are they better protected? Because that's a lot of people do claim that, but you're an expert, so you tell me.
Claim that Apple is more protected than Android. Well, that's a great topic. It's evergreen topic, I would say.
Never answered question.
Never answered question. There are two ways how to look at this question, and that's the security of the system, Android versus iOS.
Yeah.
And the second is the security or capability of downloading, installing malicious app, how the app gets into smartphone.
Can we break down those two?
So let's start with the system. Like 10 years back, when we compare iOS and Android, the iOS had way better security of the system, I would say.
Okay.
But these days, it's, in my opinion, either on the same level or Android is getting better and better, slightly better than iOS.
Is that because of the way of the architecture of how it's built, or what's the reason?
The reason is that Google is putting more money, resources, and effort to protect devices.
Okay.
The reason there are some data that are available that might compare the security of these two systems or to create a picture. The first one are hacking events, which are happening every year. The goal is to hack the devices, IoT, etc.
Wait. Back up. There are annual events where IT professionals get together and they try to hack stuff.
Yes.
Do like regular people, or do the people know? Am I hacked?
No. It's everything prepared. The companies are aware these issues are actually brought to public, found in a way. Okay. These are good hackers. These events are actually beneficial for their users. So the goal is to hack into devices, into iOS, the recent version, and Android. And for the last few years, they were always able to hack into iOS, but not able for the last 2 or 3 to penetrate Android. And based on that, we can tell that it's more difficult to compromise the device. And also the other perspective on this issue is that there are, let's say, underground shady companies, which goal is to buy out information about security issues, problems with the smartphones. The price for compromising iOS comparing to Android is lower, which means it's more difficult to hack. Hack the Android devices. So to conclude, in my opinion, Android system or security of the system is on the same level of iOS or maybe even better for some manufacturers.
Is one of the reasonings that there are more security solutions available for Android, or?
The security of the system has nothing to do with the third-party applications, with security software.
Okay.
It's only the know-how of the company, Google and Apple, to harden the security of their devices. For iOS, for Apple, there is one official app store where from user could download the app. Only Apple knows if the apps are safe or not. They claim they are. It seems this is true. There were not many publicly available incidents, blog posts, that there are harmful apps, malware, etc.
It's good to know.
And then we have Android. Android is open system. It's something different, which
what
means
does that mean? Tell me.
Which means that we have Android user. We have.
I'm an Apple user.
We don't have just one official regular app store to download apps from.
Okay.
But we have more options, which means that we could download apps from third-party app stores. We can develop our own apps. We could download apps from the websites, from the new businesses, receive apps, share apps through Gmail, etc. Or even through sharing apps through, let's say, Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So this is a gap that attackers might misuse to to trick the user downloading app outside of the official Google Play Store.
Okay.
So the chance of getting compromised is slightly bigger, but it all depends on the user, of course, if the user actually believes the app or not. And that's something I would like to connect to security solution, you said. That's where the security solution antivirus apps play a main role, because their goal is to identify these apps to protect the gap that's there for the Android users.
But it's not just antivirus anymore, right? There are many functionalities these days.
Yeah, definitely there are more functionalities. For example, these security solutions not just scan and identify harmful application before they are installed, but they scan phishing websites in a browser, malicious links. They could identify the harmful links through received text messages. Also, they could create a call filter to block spam callers that might trick user into installing, downloading, whatever, giving their data out. Anti-theft solutions, they do a lot.
In your research, in your 10 years of experience, have you come across one campaign, malware sample, phishing attack, something that really caught your attention, the most interesting one, the most juicy one?
Well, there were a couple. For example, there was a Trojanized Signal application, which means that the app has...
Signal is a messaging app, for those who don't know.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Trojanized Signal app, which means that the application has legitimate functionality. It could send, receive messages, make calls, communicate with your contacts. And on top of that, it was patched, included the malicious code. And the important thing is that it was distributed through copycat website that tried to impersonate the Signal website. And the most interesting part was that the Signal app, malicious Signal app, could secretly link victim's Signal account to the attacker's device, which means that the attacker could then have access to a victim's Signal account, could read text messages, see who is in contact list, make calls, see the history of the messages, etc.
Make calls?
Yeah, even make calls to
Wow.
contacts.
Okay.
All this was done without user awareness in the background. So there's no pop-up, no notification. That was really interesting. Actually, we published a blog about that. It was, I guess, last year.
We'll link it somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere here.
What was it called?
It was an espionage operation by Advanced Persistent Threat Group, but I won't spill the details. Feel free to check it out on velusecurity.com.
Now that's a hook if I've ever seen one. So these little boxes that you've brought, these are actual things that actual attackers would use?
Yes and no. Since
Elaborate, please.
I will elaborate. Since I focus on malware analysis, they want malware or threat actors won't use these tools. Most likely not. However, these tools could be used by other threat actors if we don't talk about the malware itself.
And these things are readily available?
Yeah.
This is the part where I get paranoid?
Yeah, if you see someone with this device, you should get paranoid.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to keep this away from you then. All right. So this might be a good time to switch to YouTube for those of you who are just listening, because we're going to do the live demos now. So let's get to the first one. I'm most excited about the flipper.
In this first case scenario, I will demonstrate the physical importance of physical security using a Flipper Zero. This small gadget, once plugged into smartphone, is recognized as a keyboard. And right now, I am able to run my custom scripts, which means I can either install and download a malicious app or just open a browser and type in to visit a website.
What?
And the device got recrawled. There's no user interaction, no confirmation, no nothing. So make sure not to plug, not to charge your devices with unknown cables. Don't plug devices like these, and there are many others you don't know, to your smartphone or to your computer.
Could a flipper be hidden in like a keyboard?
There are various ways how this huge device can be hidden. There are even cables, charging cables just like this one, with built-in a microchip that is able to perform these attacks, so user cannot recognize that. Which means everything is hidden within the cable. That's the reason why it's important to have own cable and own charging adapter. Don't trust the ones, for example, on the airports or on the bus station, etc.
Restaurants and stuff, yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that was interesting. So if this happens to me, I just unplug and I should be fine?
You just unplug and hope you are fine. Because it depends on the attack scenario. If in this case, Flipper deploys malicious app, it means that it could be controlled remotely, even though if we unplug the device.
All right, let's now move on to this little M5 box.
Let me show you the magic. On this small M5 stick, using this box, we will test a security of the Wi-Fi network of our device. So let's go to Wi-Fi setting in our M5 stick. Let's select scan Wi-Fi. Now it scans for Wi-Fi networks in the vicinity.
Okay.
We will pick the one where our targeted smartphone is connected to, which is Galaxy S20. It's my hotspot. I will select the network, and now I will start the attack. And let's see what it does with the device. From the attack, I will pick the auth and clone, which means that this small box will kick my smartphone from the network, creates a clone Wi-Fi network using the same name, and provides internet. Let's call it that way.
So the phone will automatically connect to this new Wi-Fi?
It will not automatically connect. However, it will make user not connect to the one that is connected right now.
So they will be forced to
Yeah.
connect to you. Oh, okay.
There is a
that's
chance
smart.
that the user will connect to the new one using the same name. So I will start the attack.
Can this be done en masse? Let's say I come to a coffee shop and I do the magic and then everyone connects to my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, this can be done in a mass. You can bring it to coffee shops, to bus stations, and start this attack from within your pocket. Now we were kicked from our network. We see it's saved. There is a lock, which means it's protected. So now when I try to reconnect, I'm not able. As you can see, I'm not connected to any Wi-Fi network.
Okay.
It's getting frustrating. So I see through other networks, and I see there is another one using the same name. So I pick this one.
So if I see two Wi-Fis with the same name, that should be a red flag.
That might be a red flag.
Might be a red flag. Okay. So be cautious.
Be cautious. And once I try to connect, I'm requested to sign in.
Of course you are.
And definitely I will. However, this is really standard for airports, Wi-Fi's.
That's true. That's true.
To request some data or credentials, some passports even.
Yeah.
So let me type.
Passports?
Yeah. At some
Wow.
countries, there was a big deal about that.
Because I've had like credentials, like login details before, but I've never had a passport.
Yeah. Now when I type in the credentials, I'll hit next and let's check the small device. Start to blink.
Yeah, I
And
saw
we
that.
see that there is one victim. And that's our targeted device.
And that is Lukasz Stefanko, ladies and gentlemen.
And now I'm able to connect to this device from my smartphone, for example, my computer, and I can obtain these credentials.
Lovely.
So it is really important to connect to specific Wi-Fi networks you have
Yeah.
under control. Make sure they are encrypted, and don't trust such pop-ups.
Okay, so let's move on to the third attack. I'm told it's slightly different. I see you have two phones in front of you.
Yeah, the third attack is a bit special since the goal is to misuse vulnerability in Bluetooth in a not patched Android device. This is the
Okay.
victim's smartphone, the attacker's device, and the goal is to inject script from the smartphone on the attacker to the victims, where we'll inject keystrokes that are able to perform various tasks.
Is it a existing vulnerability?
Yes, there's actually a real vulnerability which was discovered in the end of the last year, 2023. It's published. It's already fixed.
Okay.
However, there's one problem I would like to share, and that's that Android devices running version 10 and below will not be protected based on the Google announcement, because these devices won't receive the patch, the fix. So it's really important to update your smartphone to a newer device. And right now, I will show you why. Max,
Yeah.
would you like to be a victim or the
Yes.
attacker?
I'll be the victim now, and then you teach me, and I'll attack you next.
Okay.
Get me. All right. Tell me what's happening.
So right now, the attacker will run Blue Ducky script. The script will trigger the exploit that will run the
There was
script
an
on the
actual
victim device.
ducky on there, for those of you who didn't see. It was beautiful.
So I will trigger the attack. And right now, keystrokes are being injected into targeted smartphone. And the goal of the script is to open a Chrome browser and type in the text. In this case, the victim is rickrolled.
Oh my goodness. It actually did it. But it vibrated.
It vibrated.
It vibrated, yeah. So I knew something was happening.
Okay.
Is that not good? It did not vibrate. Nothing happened.
It's not that great hint that something is happening since the device being exploited, but yeah, vibration is better than nothing.
Does it usually happen without the vibration? So that the victim doesn't know at all? Or
Well, this attack is actually visible, so the attack can tell something is happening,
Right,
but don't know why, what's happening, where from, what's the purpose, and the result of this attack.
so when I see this happening, when I see Rick on my phone, what can I do to stop it?
I run away, or even better, try to disable the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, since you are not aware what is happening and what is being misused.
Okay,
So let's
wow.
close.
Like physically get away from the place where it happened.
Yeah, I was kidding, but yeah, you can do that as well.
Okay. I was picturing myself running away from a coffee shop without paying and having a good excuse, but fine.
You can share that experience later on.
Okay, I will let you know. Watch out for the next episode. Anyways, so all of this is really fascinating to me, but we as Isa don't really do that, right? We try to prevent it. So how exactly do we stay ahead of these attacks? How do we know what's happening? How do we protect the people?
Great question. Well, our goal is not just to detect the apps or waiting for malware to happen, to compromise the malware that has new features, but to protect user clients on a different levels on the smartphone. The same we do on the desktop or Windows. However, there are more options on Android. There are less layers to protect the user. And what I mean by that, we are able to detect fake websites, malicious websites that deliver harmful applications, which means that we block the website initially and the app is not even downloaded to smartphone.
Oh, that's good.
If the app is downloaded, still before installation, we are able to pick it up, identify the code, scan the whole device and remove it from the smartphone. So the client, the user is protected. Also, there is one thing I would like to highlight, which is the App Defense Alliance we are part of. It's organized by Google since 2019. Google partners with security solution or antivirus vendors. This day, there are 5 more vendors. Plus ESET, and the goal of this App Defense Alliance is to protect official Google App Store, to lower the risk of malicious apps being available to all the Android user clients out there.
So any app that is uploaded to the App Store is being scanned by multiple vendors, so it should be extra secure.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it should. It's scanning multiple vendors. I guess everyone is doing their best to protect their clients.
What would you say are the top, let's say, 3 advice you would give people to stay safe and secure?
3 devices.
I know, it's hard to pick just 3.
I guess there needs to be a product such as ESET Mobile Security, which can detect these harmful apps, can detect a distribution through fake websites, malicious websites, copycat websites that can block spam calls. There are anti-theft features in case the device gets lost or stolen. So this helps a lot. And then I would say use multi-factor authentication, which means in the case your credentials are stolen, let's say phishing attack, then there is always a way to prevent or protect your account, since you have the code or physical thingy that will protect your account being compromised. And the third, I would say, back up your data, which means since we are carrying all this photos, videos, our favorite music, documents, work-related stuff, it helps a lot to have data on some cloud or some physical storage.
I think that's good advice, and I would add one more after seeing that last attack, is to keep your operation systems up to date and your apps up to date.
Very great tip.
Thank you very much. I've learned so much. That this was fascinating. I mean, seeing those attacks and hearing about your work and what you do. You also have your own social media accounts where people can learn about Android threats. Where can they find you?
Well, I try to present on social media. I guess my account on Twitter, Lukas Stefanko, and also on LinkedIn. Besides my personal accounts, where I try to share cybersecurity news related to Android malware, I have additional accounts where I focus on the things you've seen in the demonstrations, which is a more offensive way to demonstrate the cybersecurity, to visualize the problem, identify the problem, and create a solution. You can find me as Android Info Security or Android Malware on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter as well. I believe the links might be somewhere in
They will definitely be in the description for sure. Thank you very much, and I hope you've all learned something new. I've learned a lot for sure. I will be making sure to switch off my Bluetooth to not switch into a Wi-Fi that I don't know, and a lot more that we've learned today. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and follow us on YouTube and Spotify and all of our other social media, and stay tuned for the next episode.